Hello, this is another creepypasta reading. This one is of Pokemon Black. I'm what you call a collector of bootleg Pokemon games. Pokemon on Diamond and Jade, Chaos, Black, etc. It's amazing the frequency with which you can find them at pawn shops, will, flea markets, and such. They're generally fun, even if they are unplayable, which they often are. They mistranslation and poor quality make them unintentionally humorous. I've been able to find most of the ones I've played online, but there's no one that I haven't seen any method of. I bought it at a flea market about 5 years ago. Here's a picture of the cartridge in case anyone recognizes it. Unfortunately, when I moved 2 years ago, I lost the game, so I can't provide you with screen caps. Sorry. The game started with a similar whatever, and a Jenga intro of Red and Blue version. However, the press start screen had been altered. Red was there, but the Pokemon did not cycle through. It also said Black version under the Pokemon logo. Upon selecting New Game, the game started the Professor Oak speech, and it quickly became evident the game was essentially Pokemon Red version. After selecting your starter, or if you looked at your Pokemon, you had an additional Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle, another Pokemon, Ghost. The Pokemon was level 1. It had Spirit of the Ghost and encountered in Lavender Town before obtaining the Sylph Scope. It had one attack, Curse. I know that there's no real move named Curse, but the attack did not exist in Generation 1, so it appears it was hacked in. Defending the Pokemon were unable to attack Ghost. Yeah, it would only say they were too scared to move when the Curse move was used in battle. The screen had cut to black. The cry of the defending Pokemon would be heard, but it was distorted, played at much lower pitch than normal. The battle screen would then appear, and defending Pokemon would be gone. If used in battle against a trainer, when the Pokeballs representing their Pokemon would appear at the corner, they would have one fewer Pokeball. The implication was that the Pokemon died. What's even stranger is that after defeating a trainer and seeing Red had received $200 for winning, the battle commands would appear again. If you selected Run, the battle would end as it normally does. You could also select Curse. If you did, upon returning into the overworld, the trainer's spirit would be gone. After leaving and re-entering the area, the spot where the trainer had been would be replaced with a tombstone like ones at Lavender Town. The move Curse was not usable in all instances. It would fail against Ghost Pokemon. It would also fail if it was used against trainers that you would have to face again, such as your rival or Give whatever his name is. It was unusable in your final battle against them, however. It was usable. However, I figured this was the gimmick of the game, allowing you to use the previously uncapturable Ghost, and because the Curse made the game so easy, I used it throughout the whole adventure. The game changed quite a bit after defeating the Elite Four. After viewing the Hall of Fame, which consisted of the Ghost and a couple of Pokemon I used for HMs, the screen cut to black. A box appeared with the words, "Many years later." It then cut to Lavender Town. An old man was standing looking at tombstones. Then you realized this man was your character. The man moved at only half of your normal walking speed. You no longer had any Pokémon with you, not even Ghost, who up this point had been impossible to remove from your party through depositing in the PC. The overworld was entirely empty. There was no people at all. There were still tombstones of the trainers who used Curse on, however. You could go pretty much anywhere in the overworld at this point, though your movement was limited by the fact that you had no Pokemon to use HMs, and regardless of where you want the musical labyrinth and continued on infinite loop. I said that wrong, but I'm going to continue anyway. After wandering for a while, I found that if you go through Digital's cave, one of the cuttable little bushes that normally block the path on the other door side was no longer allowing you to advance and return to Pallet Town. Upon entering your house and going to the exact tile where you started the game, the screen would cut to black. Then a spirit of Caterpie appeared. Why Caterpie? It was the replaced by Weedle and a Pidgey. I soon realized as the Pokemon progressed from Rattata to Blastoise, these were all the Pokemon that I used Curse on. After the end of my rival's team, a youngster appeared, and then a bug catcher. These were the trainers I had used Curse. Throughout the sequence, the lavender time music was playing, but it was slowly decreasing in pitch. By the time our rival appeared on screen, it was little more than a demonic rumble. Another cut to black. A few moments later, the battle screen suddenly appeared. Your trainer spirit was now that of an old man, the same one as the one who teaches you how to catch Pokemon in Virginia City. Ghost appeared on the other side, along with the word "Ghost wants to fight." You couldn't use items, and you had no Pokemon. If you tried to run, you couldn't escape. The only option was to fight. Using a fight would immediately cause you to struggle, which didn't affect Ghost, but it chip off a bit of your own HP. When it was his Ghost's turn to attack, he would simply say, "Hey." Eventually, when your HP reached a critical point, Ghost would finally use Curse. Then the screen cut to black a final time. Thank goodness. Regardless of the buttons you pressed, was permanently stuck in the black screen. At this point, the only thing you can do was turn off the Game Boy. When you played again, New Game was the only option. The game had erased the files. I played through his hacked game many times, and every time the game ended with this sequence. Several times I didn't use Ghost at all. Fact he was impossible to remove from the party. In these cases, it did not show any Pokemon or trainers, and simply cut to a climatic battle with Ghost. If not, I'm not sure what the motives were behind the creator of this hack. It wasn't widely disturbed, so it was presumably not a monetary gain. It was very well done for a booting. It seems it was trying to convey a message. Though it seems I am the sole receiver of this message, I am not entirely sure what it was. Death, the pointlessness of it. Perhaps he was simply trying to morbid inject death and darkness into children's game. Regardless, the children's game has made me think, and it has made me cry. Well, that was Pokemon Black. Not really that creepy, actually. But I still liked it. I hope you liked it. This was pretty decent. So, see you next time.